Welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Lens with your host, Jake and Scott. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Old Fitzgerald Bottled-in-Bond from Scott's favorite distillery, Heaven Hill. So sit back and buckle into the latest episode of the Bourbon Lens. Scott, I know this is not HH Reg, but this is weeded bourbon. So we are all on pins and needles to hear your thoughts. But before that, it's been a couple weeks since we last spoke. You've been busy. I've been busy. There's a lot of life events happening. 4th of July, Let Freedom Ring, all that fun stuff. How are you?
It's been a busy summer. I'm like, it's already almost halfway over too. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And summer, I mean, for like a school age kid perspective, because summer definitely is nowhere near over.
It is not. And today marks 1 month until both of our sons go to kindergarten.
That's scary.
I know.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep.
Just to think, like, well, plus I'll have 2 kids at the same school, so that'll be kind of nice, dropping them both off at the same time, picking them up at the same time. But dang.
It'll make it a little easier for you. I still have the double drop off, but not complaining. But yeah, this summer has flown by. We are also less than 2 months away from Kentucky Bourbon Festival, one of the best times of the year. And hopefully Satan's asshole is still not just like breathing down us right now, because that's how hot it is.
Yeah, just as I'm getting ready to go on vacation, I'm like, can you just give me like mid-80s? Keep the 90s, mid-90s, upper 90s to yourself, please. But
yeah, at least
it'll be hot
on the beach.
Yeah, the pool and the beach will be nice. It's hard to complain when you're near that. But yeah, when you're leaving work and it's 99 degrees on your dash, it's like then you just want to jump in a pool.
Do you invest in one of the things that go in front of your windshield?
I've had one for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't think it helps with the temperature, but like when you touch stuff, it doesn't burn the hell out of your hands.
That's nice. It does have the pros and cons. So you're leaving for the beach. What is your beach bottle or bottles that you're taking with you?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'm not entirely sure yet. We started talking about packing like yesterday. Started packing like a tote, snacks and sunscreen, and that's probably my next decision. Got any suggestions?
I think you go something in the 80 to 100 proof. I wouldn't go super proofy, and I wouldn't go like finished, like unless it's like a tequila finish or like maybe a port. But I wouldn't go like double oak. That's too much.
Yeah.
And something you can easily like throw a Fresca or a Sprite or something in there if you wanted it to be kind of a little in between. So, those are not that they're pro tips, but I really enjoyed Green River weeded with a Fresca. That was my yesterday's drink.
Ooh.
by the back patio as it was hot as hell outside.
Yeah. So a versatile bottle. So can be mixed, can be neat, can be on the ice.
Yeah.
Or on the rocks.
Yeah.
I got some thinking to do. Well, honestly, I'm probably going to take 2 bottles, but
exactly.
Options are always good, right?
You can't pigeonhole yourself, right? Because, one day could be a big bourbon day. The next day could be, Claws or that new minus 1977 or whatever the hell it's called that you drink.
I think it's minus 196.
Yeah, it's a weird number. I don't know.
Or negative 196. I don't really know. It's a bad name for a product, but I'm going to call them 196s, but that's just me. We'll see. But like high noons, I mean, people call them nooners.
Yeah. I mean,
because apparently high noon is too difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you made it just as long by calling him a nooner.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, 2 syllables, just like high noon.
Exactly. People are, trying to catch the vibe, as they say these days. I am trying to avoid the vibe. I'm trying to just be away from the vibe and live my life the way I can and not be called bro by my son. Like that's all I'm trying to avoid right now.
Yeah, that's bruh. I'm like, well, that's usually what he says whenever it's like, do this, and he's like, I don't want to do this, bruh. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not your bruh.
What movie is that from? That's from a movie. I don't know.
I'm not good with this. I'm not good with. I'm good with like random quotes, but I can never identify like where did I hear that.
So I'm with you, but I'm like, I'm not your bruh. I'm your dad. You can call me dad, daddy, sir. Any of those are
Mister.
acceptable. Mister, landlord. That's also acceptable.
Lord,
Lord, your lordship,
your highness.
I mean, anything that promotes the fact that I am ahead of you in stature and in life, I'm good with.
For at least
respectable.
several more years.
At least, I mean, I got him for 13, uninterrupted.
Yeah, but he might pass. He might pass you up by then.
Yeah, but
Height-wise.
that's when you got to like develop the throat punch.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the technique that matters.
it is. I was watching Identity Thief, and Melissa McCarthy, when she's trying to get away from people, she always just like throat punches them, and it's hilarious.
And then she tries to run, and not a good look.
No. But so Identity Thief is my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie. And then the other one is Spy. It's like a spoof on like James Bond. And she's like the agent inside. Like she's like Moneypenny, like kind of like watching everything unfold. And then she like actually thinks she can go out, and it's got Rose Byrne and Jason Statham. If you've not watched it.
I don't think I've seen that.
Like it'll literally make you pee yourself laughing. I've probably watched it 4 or 5 times, and I die laughing every time.
And it's called what?
Spy. SPY.
Taking notes here. Taking notes. Handy dandy
it's
notebook and pen.
Now we're going to find Blue's Clues after this?
He just started a podcast.
No kidding. Steve?
Yeah, I saw that. Like last week. There was some news about that. Like, I wonder if that'll take off.
Interesting.
I think it's for adults. It's about finding clues on random objects in your home.
I was about to say, like, that's about as good as like the Call Me Daddy podcast.
I have no idea what it's about. It's probably about like life lessons from somebody that did a kid's show for 15 years, and who knows.
You know, I watched an interview on the second guy who played Blippi, and it is very fascinating, like how they like talk about switching them out and like bringing them in, and like how much money the original guy made versus like how much this guy gets made per episode. It's like in our lifetime, we saw Coco Melon, like our kids' lifetime, Coco Melon, Blippi, Handyman Hal, Miss Rachel. All of these people make multiple $1 million a year because they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to dress up. We're going to sing some songs. We're going to act silly, and then we're going to sell it. And they're going to make gazillions of dollars. But Power Rangers, Barney, and that big lovable purple dinosaur didn't make the money that these people
power of social media.
Power social media and power YouTube. Yeah. I mean, that's why you can find us on YouTube streaming now. Make sure you like and subscribe. We could always use those subscriptions. Really appreciate it. I was also watching a YouTube video, and literally every one of them asks people to like and subscribe. So I did the influencer thing there.
And you have to do it at the beginning. Yeah. And you have to tell people.
I did it in the middle though. We're 10 minutes
You have to
in.
tell people like, there's like 62% of our people that watch this show don't subscribe. I'm like, what?
How do you
You're
know
making
that?
people feel bad about landing on your video.
Hey, you know what? If you show up and you show us any type of love, a like, a comment, I'll give you a high five. You can email me. I don't care. Jake at Bourbon Lens. I'll carry on a conversation with you. I literally have a pen pal with one of our listeners, not subscribed to anything but the podcast. Clarence, shout out, man. Really appreciate you. But he always sends me pictures of cigars and says, tell Scott to say hi.
So, yeah. The modern pen pal, though, he's not sending pen and paper. But yeah.
Ooh. There would be a lot of grammatical errors if we were sending pen and paper. There's no spell check when you write a letter. That's the ultimate downfall. Speaking of, AI. How do you feel about that just from an objective perspective and our kids growing up with the ability just to get anything at their fingertips? It's a very inquisitive question, but
I think it's going to raise some stupid kids.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, and I tell Liam this all the time, he's 10. If I wanted to know the answer to something, I had to find it out or ask somebody who was more knowledgeable than me. And I would probably get a story about it, like, why is this way? And you kind of get, background and context. Now they don't have to wait for anything. They don't have to figure it out. They just have to ask Siri or ask Alexa or ChatGPT if they figure that out. So it's like, sometimes there's value in not knowing certain things.
I love being kind of like oblivious to some things, right? And then like having to look it up, do some research. We had the Encyclopedia Britannicas. Like we're not old by any stretch of the imagination. But just think about how far technology has come. But like, I also had this book, shout out to mom and dad, I got from Books A Million. It's now called BAM. That's what they go by.
I know
Funniest side story I could tell you another time but they had this thing called the Big Book of Knowledge, and I really wanted it. It was $39.99, and it literally was like the encyclopedias crammed into one with the Guinness Book of World Records on top of it. Literally, it was one of my favorite books, and I read it all the time. And then my parents would be like, "Where'd you get that from? The Big Book of Knowledge?" They thought they were funny, making fun of me and my knowledge quest. But I enjoyed it. I was inquisitive. I wanted that kind of stuff. They just don't know. They just want to like sit back in their gym shorts that are way too short and their high socks and their Crocs and play NBA 2K. That's all they want to do.
You nailed it. Or Fortnite.
Yep. And call us bruh. Anywho, but you know what happened? What took a lot of waiting?
What was that?
Do you know what? That would be Heaven Hill launching a everyday lineup, bottled and bond wheated bourbon. Old Fitzgerald 7 coming in at 100 proof, bottled all from the same season. If you want to know more about bottled and bond, go check out our podcast with Bernie Lubbers. He will tell you all about it and why it is the gold standard of whiskey and all of spirits, just in general. But this one got teased at BourbonCon up in Lexington last year. People got some pictures. It looked really nice. What would the liquid taste like? Well, we have it in front of us. Coming in MSRP, actually SRP, suggested retail price. There's like no manufacturer in this. $60. So, it falls under the $10 per year limit. I personally want this closer to 50. That's just kind of where I am versus 60. But great packaging, green bottle. Gives that decanter feel. How you feeling about this vibe on Old Fitzgerald 7-year?
I'm happy that they did it. I mean, I always like to see like a return to age statements, especially now that a lot of brands are putting out age statements. So like when an age statement doesn't exist on a bottle, you're kind of curious, like, what? How old actually is it? Nobody really knows. With Bottled and Bond, you assume it's 4 years, but there's a big difference between a 4-year bourbon and a 5, 6, 7, 8-year bourbon. So I'm super happy that they came out with, slapping the 7-year back on the bottle. They give it some vibes of like the old, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, have Old Fitz. But then they put like the modern twist on it with, I kind of think of it as like a elevated decanter bottle. I mean, it's honestly like a stretched out of the decanter series. So yeah, it'll be nice to see this on the shelf regularly when the hype or the hysteria. You can hype things up. There's a hysteria about this bottle right now. It's just crazy. So it'll be nice to like go into a liquor store and be able to say like, oh, there it is. Let me pick it up. So. Yeah,
and I agree with you there. I mean, for the longest time, you used to not be able to find Elijah Craig barrel proof, right now you can readily find those available, $69.99. So Heaven Hill, we talked to Connor a little bit at the Bourbon Mashup. Shout out to Bourbon Capital Alliance on putting a great event. If you're looking for something next June, make sure you're following National Bourbon Week and go to the Bourbon Mashup. Top tier event, really intimate setting, a lot of great pours, great food. But we got to drink this there. And I got to pair it with some HH Reg ice cream, corn ice cream. It was delightful. Because when do I not talk about food on an episode? Neither here nor there.
So good.
It was great. But make sure you go check that out. But we got to really kind of pair this up, and I'm excited for this to be less hysteria, daily sip type of thing. It's just got to get there. It's got to churn the cycle. Heaven Hill's got to release, Old Fitz Fall Bottled-in-Bond. We're going to talk about the spring edition here in a second. It's got to release, whatever their age statement is, for later this year for the Heaven Hill brand. C925's got to come for Elijah Craig, which a lot of people are looking forward to. So there's a lot of stuff happening. And I feel this is a side note. Me and you both have tried this. People have not talked about Elijah Craig barrel proof B525 because of this in particular bottle. And that Elijah Craig barrel proof B525 is exceptional.
It's probably one of the best in the past several years. Mm-hmm. I've probably missed a couple in the past 4 or 5 years, but
not that much.
It's memorable.
I put it up there with the C923, which people think is like the best Elijah Craig barrel proof that they've done, or one of the best. The B525 at 100 and something 25 proof or whatever it is, doesn't drink it.
Drinks like 100, 110.
You can drink it in this heat and find it really enjoyable. But, I think kind of going back to this hype train that we're on, I think it's a good bottle. I don't know if it's a great bottle. I think it has value. I think it has value as a cool bar piece. I think it has value as a good drinker. I think it has value as a great gift. I think it falls into that great gift category. Look, feel, taste, and for your everyday, like non-whiskey drinker, it's a really approachable bourbon.
And I think it's a great, like from a gift perspective, it's like when you give somebody this, it's a recognizable name, and they're gonna feel like, oh, you put some thought into this. Like, this is a new bottle, great. It's obviously in a really cool package. It's not just in like your standard wine bottle or whatever you want to say, but I'm excited to keep this on the bar and share it. I've already done that several times, but. It's I'm looking forward to it coming down a little bit in price too, but I think it's going to be right in line with the Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond. When that came out, it went through the roof. Couldn't find it. I think it started out at 60 or 70.
Didn't start out in Kentucky either, which was silly.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But then by the time it landed in Kentucky, the price had kind of come down a little bit, and now you can find it for 45, 40, sometimes $50 or sub. So. I think that's going to be a similar story with this, and just seeing age-stated bourbon back on the shelves is just really cool.
100%. And speaking of age-stated, the Decanter series came out with their spring 2016 produced bottled spring 2025 9-year-old 100 proof Old Fitzgerald. And so we were trying these kind of side by side. You had given me some heads up. This is actually the first time I've drank it tonight. The difference in these is actually quite a bit. You would think being so close in age, distilling season's pretty similar. These are both probably spring distillations, or they have to be spring distillations.
Confirmed. Spring of 2018 on the 7-year Bottled-in-Bond. All
right. So we have that. But the difference on these are like, one's like kind of more like oatmeal cookie, which I would say is the 9-year. And then the 7-year is a little more bright. I think it just reads a little bit brighter, more custardy. One's more like that depth and complexity. One's more that brighter. I think summer sip. I think the 7-year is perfect for this heat right now. In a cocktail, in a glass by itself, neat, right, or on a rock. That could be a bottle you would take with you, but then you would lose a nice piece on your shelf to share with people.
And it's already almost half gone. So.
Exactly. I mean, it's an enjoyable pour. The 9, right, comes in the decanter. It's a little bit nicer. That's not something you want to take with you on a trip because it could break. And we just cleaned out my old 9-year decanter, and we're gonna put flowers in it because my wife thinks the bottle's cute. So home decor. But you had this, as you've had this, the second or third pass through. Any different thoughts from your original thoughts on this one?
Not really. I mean, knowing my style of bourbon, I think the 7-year is like right up my alley. Super traditional corn, it's got corn sweetness. It's just well-rounded. The 9-year to me has a little bit of a bite to it. And I don't know if that's just like the oak influence, but it honestly drinks a little bit higher than 100 proof. So tasting them side by side again, this is my second time tasting them side by side. I do agree with what you're saying about like the like oatmeal cookie, like more like dessert, like I guess like brown sugar type dessert.
Yeah.
On the 9-year. The 7-year has like this underlying sweetness that does have a little bit of fruit to it, but not so much on the nose, maybe like kind of on the palate. But
yeah.
In comparison, I have a hard time saying the price jump justifies the 9-year. So my point is, I feel like the 9-year was a little bit poor timing to come out so close to the Old Fitz 7.
Yeah, and that begs the question, will we ever see an 8 in the decanter series again?
I don't think you'll see a 9 again.
I think you're going to have to see 10 plus for the $150 price point.
I think you're going to cannibalize that market with the 7-year. Yeah. So that was one thing, like hot take, like I think the 9-year, that might be one of the last 9 years that they do for a few years at least, because they're going to have to justify that price difference. I mean, it's over double.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think $149.99 to get in on a decanter series.
Yeah. So they're going to have to find the value outside of just the decanter, because again, they even put the 7-year in a nice decanter type bottle with the bag. wooden cork, green bag. Yeah. Like the cork has got that similar faceted design as the
wooden versus glass.
The larger, but they're going to have to find that value to justify the price difference.
I'm with you,
but I'm not a whiskey brand, so maybe they've got something in mind that's going to do that. But that was kind of my impressions, why they came out so close in age and in time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this 9-year is good, not great. I'm going to blind these probably later down the road. I got a little bit left of either. I think it'll be a really interesting comparison considering both spring editions. But if you pick up either bottle, you're not going to be displeased by any stretch of the imagination. And that's Heaven Hill in general. Like, are you going to be displeased with most of the stuff you pick up from Heaven Hill? No. Is some more exceptional than others? Yes. I mean, but that's whiskey, right? Like our palates are going to vary and be different, right? I could pick up this Bottled-in-Bond in, 6 weeks and it could be exceptional to me. But right now it's good. I can't tell enough difference between the two to again, look at the price point. But overall, I mean, I'm not displeased.
Yeah, I think spot on. It's just, if you find the decanter series and you've been looking for the decanter series and you're willing to spend the money.
Yeah. And you want it on your back bar because it looks cool and great. Do it. Like, you're not going to hear me tell you you're an idiot. You're going to hear me say,
if you find 2 bottles in the wild of the 7-year and you have $150 or $120 and you want to spend it, buy 2 bottles.
And we're not going to tell you you're an idiot either. I mean, like that's the thing. Like it's so subjective, but like they're both good whiskeys, right? Like, and I think that's the most important thing. Drink what you like, know what you like, and enjoy it. Simple enough. Well, we're going to keep this pretty short, guys, because this is summer. We know you got a million things to do, but our next episode is going to be about wild turkey, and we're going to be talking about age statements again. So make sure you tune in to our next episode dropping next week. We're talking about Turkey 101, 8-year 101. Which one reigns supreme? Well, you tell us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Bourbon Lens. Make sure you're connected with Scott and I via social media on Instagram, X, and Facebook. We'd love to connect. And if you're more the professional type, follow us over on LinkedIn. If you want to know more about Bourbon Lens, make sure you're subscribed to our weekly newsletter, The Weekly Pour. For exclusive content and more, check out Patreon. Follow us there at Bourbon Lens. And last but not least, on your favorite podcast listening app, make sure you're subscribed because every Monday, Scott and I release a podcast, and we would love to have you here listening to the newest features and the newest whiskey news. And until next time, cheers.